Wealth and Will Development. It's my 258th weekly update. So, this week was a good week. It was nice to get back to some heavier lifting this week. As you may recall, I was in a deload last week where... Well, no, that's it. I was deloading last week. It was very much needed. And given how everything went this week, it was the right thing to do. It was a little apprehensive at first because I wasn't sure if it would be a good idea to do that this close to, during this peak. But given that this week went so much better and my body felt so much better, in certain places it felt a lot better. It was the right call. And the reason I chuckled when I said that is because Saturday I went to the gym. I did some light pressing and some light... Yeah, it was actually pretty heavy sandbag work. I say pretty heavy. It was about 200 pounds, but it was good to get that kind of weight going again. I need to be doing at least 250 pretty consistently before the comp, and I'm well on my way to be doing that. That's how I'm training for the stone, because I figure a sandbag is going to be way harder than a stone, so that's where I'm at with that right now. Now, the reason I chuckled is because on Sunday I was doing some work on the vehicles, and at some point, I don't know when I did it, I'm pretty conscious of all of the movements that I do, just in general, just because I'm so paranoid about injuring my back or tweaking my back in any way. But I don't know if I just relaxed just the wrong way or what, but at some point on Sunday, the right side of my back just did not like what I did. Now, normally my pain has come from my left hip into my lower left back. That's always where the pain has been, the pain to the point where it's broken me down to a much weaker version of myself, but it's a good thing overall, I think. But that right side, it was just like the whole lumbar was just fucking locked up, and just any kind of movement, stretching, it was hurting to breathe. It was a very challenging day that day, and I was hoping waking up on Monday everything would be great and I'd be ready to go, and that was not the case. I felt shittier on Monday. It was terrible getting in and out of cars. Couldn't twist, couldn't do much. It just, something was locked up and it did not want to let go. I did just about everything to try to get it to loosen up, between foam rolling, using a EMS, the old put the legs up on something method, sitting in a deep squat, which was very painful to get into, by the way. Even a car buffer on the back, and none of it really helped. Stretching out the front, stretching out the back, nothing helped it. It was one of those things where it was like, okay, it just wants to be pissed, it's just going to be pissed. That being said, Monday I wanted to get some squatting in, and I was doing some squatting with just the bar on my back, and it felt okay, and I said, you know what, I need to do some more squatting with the yoke. I haven't done it since the last time because I ended up hurting my hip when I did it. So we need to figure this out. We need to do it. So I ended up loading the thing up, and I went up to what I thought was 295. And then when I was taking all the plates off, I realized I had put a 35 instead of a 25 on one of the corners. So I was actually doing 305. And that actually really helped my confidence, because I was a little nervous going into that event, because I'm like, this is one of those events I don't want to zero, but I might. Just based on the way it's set up, it's pretty terrible squatting from the bottom, especially when I'm very paranoid about my back, and I just getting in the right position, holding that position, and making sure everything's staying tight as I, drive up. It's one of those things that may come down to sacrifice the knees for a little bit, just kind of let them bow in, even though that's, less power that way, but, if it helps keep the back straighter. I don't want to be like that, so I'm working on keeping it from getting there. But bottom line is I was able to do 305 for more than one single and go from there. Basically my plan for that particular event at the comp is to just do one and just call it. Unless I'm feeling just golden when I go for it, I might do 2 or 3, but I have no intentions of winning this competition. I am just getting back into it to gain some more competition experience, as well as to get my feet back wet, and it was a good way to have some goals too. Now, after I did that squatting with the yoke, on Monday my back actually felt really good, and then when I woke up on Tuesday it felt bad again. Actually, driving back on Monday night it hurt again. But then when I got to Tuesday and did some pressing, I was able to get up to, I think, 185 or something for a number of singles. And then I ended up finishing the night with 240, no, what did I load up on the bar? I think I had like 220 or 230, no, 240 on the bar. And I just did holds. I did 3 of them for 20 to 30 seconds apiece, just to get my body used to holding that kind of weight, because, you know, it's quite the shock. And I'm realizing that's what's holding me back at this particular junction is when I'm unracking these heavier weights, it's like, oh my God, it's a shock to be holding that much weight. So I'm like, I obviously need to add that in right now and get as acclimated to it as possible, because I want it to be the point where I can hold 260 here and not really freak out. I don't know if I'll be able to do that in 3 weeks. I mean, the reality is I probably won't be able to, but it's still something I'm going to go for. And, you know, worst case, it's something I'll start adding in the future, which will help me overall. My goal at some point is to not zero fucking pressing event in a comp. Based on how things are going right now, this might be the one, but I'm apprehensive, to say the least. I'm going to do my best, but, you know, it is what it is. Hopefully I'll get a PR out of it at the end of this whole thing. So we'll go from there. I actually trained on Thursday and just did squats, and I worked up to just a single at 295, because right when I hit that single, it was like, ooh, okay, you know, that was a little bit, it was almost too much. But just really focusing on good form with squats. I want to start squatting a couple days a week again, because it seems to be helping my back a lot. And using the low bar and using the low bar properly, keeping the back nice and tight the whole time. One of my biggest problems when I was squatting before was I would tend to, in the bottom, relax the upper back, and that's not right. I shouldn't be doing that. So I'm working on keeping that tight the whole time, and that's going to help me transfer over to my other lifts. Like the deadlift tonight, which was at 320, and I only did it for 4. I was going to only plan to go into 330 for 3s. Or something like that. Maybe it was even supposed to be more. I don't remember. The fact that I know I can pull a 500 at any time, I'm going to just do that the day of. I'm not worried about it anymore, to say the least. So I'm just going to train it light, train it perfect, and even maybe just stick with beltless. That's what I did tonight, and I stayed nice and tight. Now, I won't have footage from Monday, but that's just because I forgot to record it. That's all there is to it. So when you check out my week of video, that's going to be missing. Other than that, I've got a heavy clean and press going on tomorrow, being Saturday, and then word on the street is a new guy's going to be coming in to do some stones. I should say new to me. I just met him tonight, and he's supposed to be coming in to do stones tomorrow, which means I guess I'll be just doing stones too, because I just can't resist. Regardless, don't be afraid to throw something new in, even if it's too late to make a difference for your goals coming up, because it'll still help you in the long run. That's what this whole game is about. It's all just, if you can last the longest, you'll end up being important. That's what I'm going for at this point in my life. I just want to last the longest. Because, you know, if you can just put on 5 pounds on a lift every year, after 10 years, it's 50 pounds, you know? I know that doesn't sound like a lot. But in any case, don't be afraid to change things whenever you need to change them. And if you are, then what's your excuse?